Welcome to episode 4 of Ask Jungle Scout. You've got Greg and I here again today. If you'd like your questions to be answered on the show, make sure you drop them in the comments below.
So our next question is from T4A Videos, all right? He said, we have a super burning question not addressed in the Facebook groups. What are the plans to start a business and grow as an Amazon retailer given the limitations that the new U.S. administration may implement, okay? And this is opening up a real can of worms, all right? So as probably everyone knows who's watching this video, there's a new president in the U.S. now, of course, with a new administration. And there's talks and rumors, and he said, or Congress, or whoever else, that they could potentially like to put or be stricter on imports coming into the U.S., right? So I'll give you my opinion on this. This is just my opinion, so take it for what it's worth. But let's think about a few things here, okay? One, I personally don't think that they're going to put like a large tariff on like goods being imported from China. You might be watching this 3 years from now and call me an idiot because I'm wrong, but that's my personal opinion. And this is why. It's because at the end of the day, it's going to get passed along to the consumer. You know, if I'm selling my garlic press or my water bottle right here or whatever else, me and all my competitors, we're all importing it from China or from wherever else that they want to like introduce these tariffs to. So at the end of the day, like we don't have enough margins to just eat up like a 20% tariff or whatever else, right? So what we're all going to do is we're all going to raise our prices 20% and it gets passed along to the consumer, all right? And the reason I think that this isn't going to happen is because this would directly affect mainly the middle and lower class, right? Because they're the ones whose pocketbooks it's going to hurt the most, you know, having like that extra like 20%, a 20% increase of prices on Amazon and at Walmart and at Target and Best Buy and everywhere else. So I don't think it's ever really going to happen. But at the end of the day, if it does happen, like I said, I'm just going to raise my prices and my competitors are too. So with business, there's always all kinds of things that you can worry about, okay? I can worry about this or that or what happens if UPS prices go up or this or the other thing. But at the end of the day, you have to just get started. As an entrepreneur, you're always evolving, you're adapting to these things. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not losing any sleep.
Okay, so our next question is from Naveen, who asks, can you please provide instructions on how to ship from China direct to FBA? What do you think, Greg?
Absolutely. So the way I look at it, there's like two different ways to ship products, you know, from China or from overseas to Amazon's distribution centers. One kind of bucket here would be like Air Express. And this would be like what a lot of us are used to, sending things DHL or UPS or FedEx or TNT or whatever. And they essentially handle everything for you. They handle the customs, the importing, all that kind of stuff. It's literally, you know, you give them your labels and they ship it from door to door. Okay, so that'd be like the easiest way. The biggest downside of that though is it's expensive. If your product's very small and lightweight, it might not be a problem. It may still be cost effective to ship products on a per unit basis. However, once you start getting bigger products, you know, like our bamboo marshmallow sticks, those things are pretty big. They're 3 feet long. They weigh a few pounds each. It's going to be cost prohibitive to do that. So the other way is to ship ocean freight or like air freight. And to do this, you have to hire a freight forwarder. It may be possible to do it yourself, but it'd be really hard. Everyone just hires a freight forwarder, and so do I. So some popular freight forwarders would be like Flexport or Shapiro, or if you just Google freight forwarder, there's tons of them. And they handle all the custom brokerage and that kind of stuff for you. So let me give you an idea now, like how Jungle Sticks get shipped from China to the Amazon distribution centers. What happens is, personally, we're using Flexport. So the factory delivers it to the port in China. Flexport coordinates with them to pick it up at the port. It gets on a boat. It gets delivered to Flexport's warehouses in LA. Then they take the boxes off. They put them onto pallets, and then I create a shipment in Seller Central, and a truck takes it from their warehouse in LA to their distribution center. So I personally never touch like Jungle Sticks. It's all handled, and that's how we personally do it, and that's how I would recommend it. So yeah, that's what you can do, and you never have to touch your inventory.
Great, thanks for the rundown.
All right, so our next question here, and I'm going to butcher this name really bad, but I'm going to try Emre Grubutz, looks maybe German to me, and they say, how can I get my product onto the first page of Amazon? There are lots of videos about this, but no one's really helpful. Can you help her? And this is a can of worms, right? We can talk about this for hours, but Lenny, do you have any tips of how to get on the first page of Amazon?
Well, hopefully I'm not sort of repeating a lot of the stuff that you've heard in previous videos. It sort of comes back to one of the earlier questions about sort of being a bit bullish with promotions are a great way to do it. Pushing with PPC is as well. So getting those sales and reviews, ultimately it all comes down to that. So I hope that's not a cop-out answer. It's very simple, but it's not at the same time. So the strategy to do it can change a fair bit, but ultimately that's what you're trying to do. The other thing as well, because often a lot of people say, I'm doing PPC, I'm doing promotions, but I'm not getting much from that. So you really need to make sure that your listing is as optimized as possible, because if you're spending lots on PPC and you're not getting many sales for it, then you really got to look and kind of go, okay, what's my pricing like compared to my competitors? What's the value that my customer is getting? Is my product and listing good ultimately? If that isn't as optimized as it can be, then doing promotions and PPC won't get you sales and reviews like you want, and won't help you get to the first page. Do you have anything, I suppose, a bit more specific, Greg?
Sure, I'd be happy to piggyback on that.
Yeah.
So, like Amazon is more or less looking for two things of how they rank your product when a customer makes a search result. The first thing, so I guess there'd be three things. The first thing would be keyword relevancy. So, if they're searching for sunglasses, they're not going to show water bottles. So it has to be relevant to what the person's searching for. And you want to make sure to include those search terms in your listing.
Yeah.
The other two things that they're looking for is sales velocity. So historically, how many units have you been selling every day? And the conversion rate of your listing. So a lot of things are going to go into account for the conversion rate. That's going to be what your reviews have been in the past, how many reviews you have, how good is the listing, how quality are the images, does it sell well to the customer when a customer lands on your listing, okay? So like your conversion rate. So those things you can adjust and fix. You can use a tool like Splitly to A/B test different images, see which one converts better. You can test different titles to see which one gets more clicks and that sort of thing. And then to get sales velocity, you need to sell products. So if you're not selling lots of products organically, you can do things about like increase your PPC spend. You can run a promotion, so maybe you're running like 50% off and giving away promotions. You can use something like JumpSend or anything else to get additional sales.
Yeah.
Or one last thing is you can just try decreasing your price for a little while and see if that increases your sales velocity. But at the end of the day, I think we kind of have harped on this before, but you need sales velocity. That's going to move you up the ranks, and you need to convert customers once they land on your listing.
And so I guess as well, it's not just something that will happen overnight and happen immediately. It's kind of like, and there's not just one or two things to help you do that. It's kind of like you need to do everything really well, and it's sort of it's a long-term sort of plan, because again, you could do some giveaways or do a huge PPC spend at the start, and you might get onto page one. But getting there's one thing, staying there's another. You then want to consistently keep the sales going, which is where continually perhaps split testing and optimizing your image. So hang in there, keep experimenting with your listing, trying different techniques, and you'll get there in the end. All right, and that's today's questions. I hope you guys got some value from today. Give us a thumbs up to let us know. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.